Hello, everyone. My name is Marshall Bruins, and I'm editorial director of European Seed. And joining me today is Mr. Justin Rakotoarisaona, Secretary General of the African Sea Trade Association, AFSTA. Justin, very welcome.
Thank you.
Justin, what would you say are the major challenges facing the African seed sector today?
I would start with economy because at the end result of everything is economy, money. So the seed market in Africa, unfortunately, does not justify yet significant investment in the seed sector at national level. Even, for instance, in some countries, the seed companies want to go there and do business. It's not viable, so they have to postpone it or survive in the country where they can invest. The second point is the implementation of plant variety protection. It faces challenges because not everybody understands the importance of this plant variety protection, and mainly seed is still considered to a certain extent as social goods, especially by politicians. So this PVP, despite of the existence of regional organization dealing with it, it's still a challenge to implement it. There is also the low adoption of certified seed in Africa in general, but I would say for maize, it's a little bit different because people tend to use already hybrid. I would rate it about 90%, but all in all, the adoption of this certified seed from the formal sector is still very low. Then on the adoption of the new technology, Africa is always lagging behind in profiting by those technologies such as plant breeding innovation or biotechnology trade or all of those technology are still difficult. Maybe the reason is political. Maybe the reason might be also the technical level of the country not having enough infrastructure to implement it, and no skillful technicians to use or to adopt those new technology. And this creates challenge in partnering with other countries, or I would say a country with a more developed seed sector. But the good thing is generally the multinationals, seed companies, regional seed companies are coming to or have been in Africa to try to utilize this technology, and the good one is the on maize. So those are the main challenges, in my opinion, for the seed sector in Africa, let alone the purchasing power of farmers. But I would say this is not really the problem. Why? If the farmers get enough harvest, they will be able to buy seed, and they will realize that, oh, let me buy seed because it's good. But the problem is they don't get this, they don't come out of this vicious cycle. So it's turning around until they are given some good seed to test it. But good seed, quality seed needs also accompanying measure, which is the right input. So if you put seed without the right input, it will not yield as expected, but still better. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks, Justin. Those are some massive challenges to overcome, and that will require enormous effort and resources, of course, from the countries. And one of the first places that you would go to for help with those huge challenges are the national legislators, but also, and we know in Africa there are several regional organizations very active on the policy level. We have SADC for Southern Africa, we have ECOWAS for West Africa, COMESA, and so on. In your view, how can those national and regional legislators help in overcoming those challenges?
The legislation plays a very crucial role in those the industrial sector in general. So I propose that the ongoing of harmonized regulations should be implemented, because so far COMESA has harmonized the seed regulation, SADC, ECOWAS, East African Community. But so far, the implementation is not yet really done as it should be. And there is also a forthcoming called African Continental Free Trade Area, meaning all the in the continent will have one market, and has been signed, I think, early this year, which is also a good opportunity for the continent. But the fact remains that not all the country are able to do it in the right way. So we still continue strengthening those countries, helping each other. But this is a way of overcoming this challenge of a small seed sector not justifying this investment. So if the harmonization makes the seed sector, seed industry, seed market bigger, it will be a good thing for Africa. Then we need to continue on the plant variety protection, which is not well understood. We need to continue awareness raising in the continent, and to do so, we have teamed up with IPOV, ARIPO, WAPEI, and we do a collective thing together for the implementation of this plant variety protection. Why is it important? It goes without saying that it will motivate people running the seed company to create varieties which are adapted to the very various climates in Africa. It's very diverse, and I want to mention that around 66% of the Arab land is in Africa, and there are different climates. If we manage to motivate the private company and the national research organization to create more variety, it will be helpful for the continent. We also need to conduct, variety promotion like we are doing now after doing with our pilot phase with Uganda and Malawi. So we called all the seed companies to avail their variety to the Uganda Seed Trade Association and the Seed Trade Association of Malawi. And we have started already last year, and they put together variety demonstration in 4 locations in Uganda and 3 locations in Malawi. And the end result will be we'll call all farmers to visit this and to let them realize how good is using these new varieties. And this is also good because the companies will have a kind of promotion of their varieties in a very neutral manner, because no one will not disclose whose variety is this until the field day is finished. This is what we are doing also. So conducting this variety promotion is good. We also try to team up with the regional economic communities to always having cooperation on the seed sector. And every Congress, we call them to make presentation on how far they have gone on the implementation of this seed harmonized seed regulations. So we don't lose heart, and we already started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And for me, being there at AFSTA, I can see the change when we started with AFSTA, with the National Seed Trade Association, because they play very key role at the national level, at the regional level. I can see the big difference when we have no AFSTA and when we have AFSTA. And during the Congress, I would like to mention there is a huge opportunity for us to come together and to go to aim for one direction in improving the seed sector in general and overcome any challenges. Of course, we will not be able to deal with them in one go, but by doing it regularly and from time to time in the last 20 years of existence of AFTA, I can say that humbly that we have done a big thing for the African seed sector.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you, Justin. You mentioned plant variety protection a few times and UPOV. And I believe that Nigeria is very close to joining UPOV. I believe that's a very big deal. Nigeria is now the most populous country in Africa. I think number 6 or 7 in the world. But by 2050, it will have overtaken, in terms of population, it will have overtaken countries like Indonesia, Pakistan, and even the US. So it will have become the third most populous country in the world. So them joining UPOV is I believe, a big deal. What's your take on this?
This is very welcome for the seed industry in Africa, and especially for the professional seed company. I repeat, professional seed companies, because there are some seed companies who are trying to survive, but the professional one, this is very welcome. And as AFTA, we work with them from time to time. We understand what is the status, and my recommendation is, one of them is to make the environment better in the seed sector, so that this forthcoming plant variety protection will be implemented in a good way. Because if, for instance, we don't have good environment in variety release or in seed certification and so on, it will not be well exploited. So we welcome this plant variety protection of Nigeria, and I'm sure that it will go a long way in changing the landscape of seed in Nigeria. Nigeria, as you explained, is a very huge market, but unfortunately, I would say that the seed sector, the seed industry, is not at the same level as we expect. But it's gratifying to know that teaming up together, meaning the public and private partnership, coupled with the effort of people from outside like IPOV, ARIPO, coming together, it will change very quickly. And as AFTA, we are happy to be deeply involved in this exercise. Thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah, Justin, you are Secretary General of AFSTA already for 21 years, and I believe that makes you the longest sitting Secretary General of many, if not all, seed associations in the world. So congratulations on that. What is your organization AFSTA doing to mitigate in some of the challenges that you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, this is, thank you for this. Yeah, I'm the long serving, but this also implies this stability. Mm-hmm. And I can see the evolution of AFSTA. It was born, and I take care of it, and then we continue so far. So, AFSTA is here mainly to coordinate, and there is 2 levels. One is at national level, mm-hmm. Second on the regional level, and continental and the world level. So we use the national seed trade associations to take the relay from AFSTA. For instance, during the AFSTA Congress, we adopted position papers. We discussed at length all the critical points, and then up to them after to continue this bargaining at national level to the policymaker and so on. And most importantly, we have improved communication between the National Seed Trade Association. We created, profiting by the new technology, which is WhatsApp. We inform each other, especially during this time of COVID-19. We know each other, what are they up to, and how do they help each other. So I can mention that, roughly speaking, the seed sector in Africa does not suffer too much from this pandemic, because most countries consider it, the seed, as important critical goods. So they are still moving around, and even regionally, nationally, at the continent level, we are still able to move seed. I would say that more or less AFSTA, in collaboration with the National Seed Trade Associations, where they exist, managed to discuss, to have a kind of arrangement at national level so that this pandemic or any other challenges do not stop the serious seed companies, I say serious seed company, from availing the good quality seed to farmers. But of course, there are still some seed companies which are trying to survive. And but in general, I'm happy to say that AFSTA with the National Seed Trade Association have played their role as much as we can, and we can see the difference. Usually we say, just consider if there is no association, instead of say what do you gain if you join the association. So this is kind of mentality we try to give the seed company, because if you join and expect immediate interest or advantages, it will not go a long way. And I'm glad to see that the National Seed Trade Association are created, because there was 8 when I joined, and now we have 29, and they're all functional. So this way I say we always tell the seed company, the country, what do you lose when we don't have a National Seed Trade Association and AFSTA, instead of saying what do we gain if we join the association. So I think we have played a role, and the fact that we stay here for 21 years, meaning stabilities and trying hard, really, it's not easy, but we try hard to get this level.
Mm-mm. Congratulations on your success, Justin. You mentioned already the pandemic earlier, and the IT tools that you're implementing to stay in contact, which I think is very important. And we also know that the COVID pandemic has impacted the national seed sectors in various ways. Some countries have gone through almost unscathed, and other countries have suffered quite a bit in their seed sector. How would you say that the African seed sector has weathered the pandemic?
Yeah, I would say that despite this pandemic, the impact is not so bad. There is a little bit from here and there, but in general, most of the country considered the seed as essential goods. So even during this curfew, the seed can still move, and at the airport, I mean the seaport mainly, or at the custom area, seed is still moving in as normal thing, because most of the politicians realize and agree that the seed are very important, and this is also through the regular and I would say permanent lobbying or advocacy from the National Seed Trade Association, coming together to talk to their government. And I'm pleased to report, but there is no much impact on the seed sector in Africa for this pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good to know. I know from some other continents that indeed the seed sector did suffer a significant deal. So good to hear that you went through relatively undamaged. That's good. Well,
yes, and also I just want to add a little bit. We use the technology also to help continuing, like any meetings, important meeting in seed. We do it virtually, and we still move, because sometimes we need to get together to make decision on how to handle it. But so far, despite the challenges in Africa for the technology, we are still managing to do what we would like to do.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I'm afraid that's all that we have for today. Thank you, Justin, for joining me in this video interview. To the audience, thanks for joining us. I hope you found it valuable and interesting, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Thank you, Marcel, for giving me this opportunity, and the AFTA Secretariat is happy to continue doing this with you, and also to the stakeholder in Africa, in the world. Please feel free to contact AFTA Secretariat if need be. Thank you.